One thing that I see in other YouTubers' homes, especially the cleaning videos, is these grand laundry rooms. My laundry room, the builder of this home did not believe in storage. Like, they thought open spaces. Yes, I have open space, but I don't have a lot of storage. So when the builder had messed up on one of the cabinets, I had asked the guy if he could install it in here, and he did. And that gives me some, storage. And they didn't even have like a shelf. I had to ask for this. I got really cool with the builder. Well, not the builder, but the worker that was working. And so he actually built me my shelf also. But this needs more storage. So my husband and I have already started. He put the brackets, which these are 99 cents or 97 cents at Walmart. And I'm probably going to paint those. And then I need to sand and paint this shelf. So yes, I'm about to get started on all of this to redo my laundry room, or just give it a little bit of an update. So I'm bringing you guys along. Okay, so I wanted to do a cute little sign in my laundry room, but as you saw in the first clip, I don't have a lot of space. So I have this SVG file for my silhouette cameo. I have the Cameo 3, and I am no professional at it, but it's actually pretty user friendly. So if you're going to look for a cutting machine, this is the one I would suggest. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this SVG file and add it to my Silhouette Studio. And then from here, I'm going to make sure that it's going to fit in my space. So the sign I'm going to place it on was actually a picture that I had picked up on clearance, and I just turned it over and painted it with chalkboard paint. And I believe the dimensions for it were 11 by 15. It was 11 inches wide by 15 inches tall. So I'm making sure here that my media is set for 11 by 15, and that this SVG file is going to fit on that. So now that I'm happy with the size of my design, I always place it like to the very far left corner so that I can use less of my material. But I'm actually using cheaper material for this. I'm going to make a stencil, and I'm just going to make sure that everything is set up correctly for this. So now that I see it, all the red is what it's going to cut. So it's going to cut all the outline there. I'm actually going to use contact paper that I purchased from Walmart. So the material I'm going to select is going to be vinyl glossy. It's probably the closest to what I'm using. It's, a thin material, but it's sticky, and so I don't want it to cut through the paper. I want it to just kiss cut. So originally I had tried to use the contact paper without a mat, and it did so good, but at the very end it kind of messed up. So I went back and just went ahead and used a mat. This is a 12 by 24 mat, so this is really good for long projects, but it's no longer than 24 inches. So if you are going to get the Silhouette Cameo, you can do projects that are longer than 24 inches. And no, I am not sponsored by Silhouette, and no one paid for this. I bought this. I've had this for 2 years now, and I absolutely love it. I've made so many projects with it. I've made t-shirts, I've made signs, I've done a lot with it. I've made a lot of gifts for teachers, and I just absolutely love it. And I know that a lot of people right now are being sponsored by Cricut, and Cricut has been giving a lot of people their machine. And no doubt I would use that if I got it for free also. But I'm just letting you know that no, this is not sponsored. This is just a hobby of mine. And because I have brought more to my channel, I wanted you to see other things that I do. I'm too insane, and you know it. You got Okay, now for the weeding process. This is probably one of the most painstaking things that you have to do when you do these kind of projects. So what I had to do was I had to realize that I am doing opposite when weeding. So when you, or reverse weeding, when you are usually making a sign or a gift or whatever, you will take the outside around. But when you're making a stencil, everything that you cut is what you take off. So I'm just going to weed out everything that I have here, and then we're going to place it. Actually, we're going to use some contact paper on top of it to place it on top of our sign.
Again and again, 'cause I will make you love me again and again. Just when you think you love me, you'll think again. 'Cause I will make you hate me again and again. Have to learn to like me again and again. 'Cause I will make you love me again and again. Just when you think you love me, you'll think again. 'Cause I will make you hate me again and again.
Now, people normally use clear transfer tape to transfer the design onto the sign, or transfer the stencil onto the sign. But I had this contact paper that I had gotten from Dollar Tree, and so it was all crumbly. It was really wrinkled, and I didn't want to just throw it away, so I decided to use it on this project. It worked out, but let's just say it was another painstaking process, and it took me a long time, but it did work out. So use materials that you have. You don't have to use anything special. I didn't purchase anything for this project other than the 2 brackets, which were 97 cents each. So I spent $2 on this project. Everything that I'm going to show in my update, I already had. I already had the wood. I already had the sign. I have the machine to make this stencil. So I just want to show you that you don't have to go out and buy expensive decorative items. You can make things that you have in your home. You can use things that you have in your home to update your space. Like I said, I don't have a lot of storage in there. I didn't have a lot of room. I could have probably painted the wall, but that would have been a very hard process for me because I would have had to move the washing machine and the dryer out. And it's just, I wanted to do an update. I wanted to feel better about that room. I needed a little more storage, and so we put the shelf, and then I put the sign in, and I'm telling you, I just get happy when I walk in and see the sign that I made. Now I sped this process up of removing the whole contact paper on top, but let me tell you, this was a long time. This contact paper was so sticky, and it just it was, look, don't rush. When you're doing these projects, don't rush, because then you're going to have to start all over. You're going to have to either cut your design all over, or, like I've said, don't rush. The slower you go, the better it is. And I had to go really slow to pull off all this contact paper because it just did not want to let go of the other contact paper. Like I said, most people use transfer tape, and you would still need to go slow with the transfer tape. But anytime I would pull up a good portion, I would cut it off so that it wouldn't stick back down. So I'm just doing that right now. I'm almost done, and like I said, the slow you go, and I started to get impatient at the very end, and I started to pull, and I almost messed it up, but thankfully I did not. So because this is a stencil and I'm about to paint this sign, I just run my fingers over everything, making sure that everything is stuck down well. Now I'm going to take this Waverly chalk paint that I got from Walmart. Like I said, I already had it. I do a lot of projects, so this is already on hand. And I'm just going to stamp my paint on. So when you're stamping your paint on, always less is more. Start with a very thin layer, and if you need to make it more opaque, just add a little bit more. let it dry a little bit, and then go over it. So I just stamp, I just dab, and if I get too much on my brush, I always start out on the part that's white. So like the part that I'm not going to be painting, I'll start out that way, and then I'll test my brush to see how much paint is on it, and then I'll just keep dabbing all over until everything is saturated and it's ready, and it looks good. Okay, it's been several hours, and good thing about chalk paint is that it dries really quickly, and I'm just going to pull out all the little, insides and just pull everything off with my little weeding tool, and then the end result I'm just so happy with. I just love it. And it's totally what's happening right now in my life, in my world. Okay, and here I'm hanging up this sign that was on the inside of my laundry room. I'm just using a command hook, and then to secure it so it doesn't swing, I use a command strip. Okay, I'm showing you right here that I'm about to place the shelf, but I don't show you on video because I'm short and I got to do all kinds of positions to do it. So I'm just showing you what I'm about to do. Okay, so here is the final result. Not a lot of change, but just enough that I'm like, you know what? I like doing laundry in here. I like seeing the things that I've done to improve this laundry room. So the first one was the sign that I showed you I made. Also, I put up the shelf and put all the little small things, just kidding. I put the little small things up on the shelf. I still don't have a lot of room for a lot of my cleaning supplies. I store most of my cleaning supplies in this room. So it is what it is. Another thing that I did that I didn't show was those little hat washing baskets. I put those on command strips and I hung them on the wall to the left. But this is it. This is, I can't do a lot with this room. Like I said, I could paint it, but that would be a lot of work. A lot of work. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Don't forget, if you like me, subscribe and give me a big old thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.